Good evening, good evening, good evening. How is everyone doing tonight? Tonight, I am going to go over some grant tips to kind of help our grant stand out and to kind of help you guys when it comes to, writing your grant, understanding like what angle we need to be going when it comes to applying for grants, okay? So good evening, good evening, good evening. One great thing about grants is that we don't have to pay the money back, right? A big problem I see with businesses that are looking for, capital for their business is they are like on this funding kick. Like, let me get as many loans, let me get all this funding. And then we get the debt. Either we get the loan in our name or the business name. We're maxing out our credit cards. We are just, getting all this debt to get the business started. But a lot of times, once the business gets started, it's going to take you maybe 3 to 6 months before the business starts making a profit. So when we're still trying to work the business, get it going, and then all of these notes are due, it kind of adds a lot of more stress on the business owner, because not only is the business not making money, we now have to start paying back these loans, okay? So grants are a great way of, getting some capital into your business without having to have a note, without incurring any more debt, without adding any more stress, okay? The grant I'm going to be talking about tonight is going to be the Amber Grant. And so one thing you want to do when you're applying for grants, whether you're Googling a grant, whether you have my grant bundle, is you want to see who are the past recipients. What kind of business did they have? And what are they saying about your business? So grants are going to really ask you really the same questions, just differently. They're going to ask you why did you start your business, or how did you start your business? They're going to ask you where do you see your business in the future, or where do you see your business in 5 years? They're going to ask you, why do you need this money and what you're going to do with the money? They're going to ask you, what problem does your business solve, or who is your client and what is the solution to the business, to the problem that they have that you solve. They're going to also ask you what makes your business stand out from the competition, okay? If you are in my grant masterclass this weekend, I am going to give you a list of the top 30 questions, and we're going to go over those so you kind of already have your outline to pull from. When we are applying for a grant, you want to look at the past winner recipients, right? I am going to pull up the Amber Grant. The Amber Grant, if you have my grant bundle, is going to be number 43 on the Women Business Grant tab. Now, some grants are going to ask you for a video submission of answering some of these questions, okay? So I want to kind of show you, I want you guys to kind of see how this woman looks. She's a grant winner. She's going to be talking about why she started her business. But this is one way to kind of get a feel for what the grant is looking for, is to look at past winners, see how they were dressed on the video. This woman owns a farm, so she's going to give you, farm country vibes. She's very simple. She is very authentic. Okay. So whenever we have a video submission, it's very important that you are yourself. Okay. So whoever you are, whatever is your personality type, whatever is your business type, whatever that is, it's very important to be authentic and to be you. Okay. So, am I going to be able to turn this camera around? Let's see. You know what? I'm not going to be able to turn the camera around, but I want y'all to see this girl. I want y'all to see her. I want y'all to see Anne. What's her name?
We are a farmstead creamery in upstate, very northern New York. We milk around 20 to 30 cows, and we use all that milk for cheese and yogurt.
Can y'all see her? When I put the camera like that? Yes or no? Can y'all see her when I put the camera like that?
In 2013, and we were able to buy it from a previous cheesemaker.
Can y'all see my girl? Yes or no?
Cheese, and it was through a land trust as well. So the purchase was
Can someone
really reasonable.
say yes or no when I turn the camera around? Y'all saw her or not?
And I was inspired by a lot of different things, I guess. I studied environmental studies in college, but farther back, I made a wooden cow in 7th grade, and I decided I liked cows, even though I hadn't really met one. I grew up in rural beach town, California, but my dad grew up on his parents' and grandparents' farms, and so my roots go way back to actually Swiss dairy farmers who came over in the 1850s and started dairy farms across California. And it didn't actually skip a generation, even though I'm consider myself a first-generation farmer, because I didn't grow up farming, but my dad told me stories. So I think in my heart, it led me to eventually start this farm and just feel very connected to animals and people and the natural environment.
The question was, why did you start your business, right? Now, who is this? This is Miss Ashley. Now, is Miss Ashley not giving you dairy farm, right? Ashley has on this little sweater. I mean, we have our hair in these pigtails. We don't have an ounce of makeup on.
Amazing.
It's very authentic, right? We're not at a studio. She is giving you dairy farm, right? So they're asking her, why did she start her business? How did she get into it? And she's telling her story. She's been talking about this daddy, was a farmer. Her ancestors were farmer. She loves cows. She is giving you authenticity. Okay. So a lot of times, when I'm doing my grant consultations, like you guys are thinking that we need to have, a master's in literary arts. We have to, write this grand composition. Amy is as simple as it can be. You see the joy in her face when she's talking about her business, okay? Nothing is giving me, PhD. Nothing is giving me college. Nothing is giving me grant writer. Nothing is giving me, that she didn't have any misspellings. That stuff doesn't matter when it comes to business grants, okay? Nonprofit grants are going to be different. There is a different level of standard. You're going to write that long grant proposal, and nonprofit grants are normally a lot more money. Okay. These business grants, they want to know about you as the business owner. They understand that you are a business owner, right? We are not portraying to be any kind of, grammar specialist. That is not what's important. What's important is your sincerity in showing you who you are as the business owner. Now, if you go to, when you're applying for grants, I'm gonna turn my camera around again. It's gonna show you all of the past recipients. Hold on. Do y'all see the different stories of the past recipients? Did my camera show y'all the past recipients? So you can look at who won the grant last year, right? What are they talking about? What were they doing? Not to copy them, okay? Because their journey and their story is different than yours. But sometimes, especially like when we're embarking on something new, like, oh my gosh, I'm nervous. What is this? Sometimes you may feel more comfortable kind of like getting an example, and then you can kind of, go from there. Okay. So, although Ashley was real plain, real simple, she's in her kitchen. Her kitchen was as neat as possible that a kitchen can be. We don't have no food left out. She didn't have any kids running around in the background. It was a very clean environment, but it wasn't picture perfect, right? It doesn't look like, she should be in a Martha Stewart, ad. So but that makes it real. So when you are applying for a grant, tip number 1 is before you actually apply, look down on the grant for the past recipients. Who won? What kind of businesses did they have? This video is long. I don't want to just bore y'all with this long video, but they're going to ask her, where does she see her business going? in 5 years from now. You'll be able to hear that answer. They're going to ask her, since you won the $10,000, what is she going to do with the money? You'll be able to hear that answer. So sometimes, seeing what a previous recipient said, how they said it, what kind of adjectives did they use, that may kind of spark some of your creativity, okay? Once again, by no means am I saying to find a previous grant winner and copy what they said. It's very easy to see people who are authentic and real versus someone who's fake, someone who's just saying all the right stuff. You don't want to say all the right stuff. You want to be you, okay? Because the best person to sell your business, the best person to sell your business's purpose, the best person to sell your vision is you. Okay, that's why I am doing this grant masterclass this weekend. That's why I am doing all these lives, because for some reason, a lot of people feel like someone else needs to sell my story when it's really you, because you're the person that's in it. You're the person that's going to have the most passion. Okay. When you are looking for a grant, they're going to have a synopsis of the organization or the business that's given the grant, okay? So on the synopsis, they're going to say who the business is or the organization that's given the grant. Why are they giving this grant? So either they're trying to help women entrepreneurs, maybe they're trying to help minority entrepreneurs, maybe they're trying to help startups, maybe they're trying to help people that have an idea. You want to hear, why are they giving this grant? Why? You want to mirror your story as similar as to why this organization is giving a grant, okay? So this is going to be the Amber Grant. About the Amber Grant. The Women's Net founded the Amber Grant in 1998. The grant was set up with one goal in mind: to honor the memory of very special young woman, Amber Wigdale, who died at just 19 years old before realizing her business dreams. Today, Women's Net carries on that tradition, proudly giving away at least $30,000 every month in Amber Grant money in recognition of diversity of businesses owned by women. We've also expanded our grant giving to include marketing grants, business category grants, and two $25,000 year-end grants. Applying is simple. Just take a few minutes to tell us about yourself and your business dreams. No long, complicated form, okay? So, as I'm reading why this grant was created, it was created to help women start businesses, right? But the wording, it's literally just 2 paragraphs. It sounds real simple, right? They aren't using any big adjectives. They're not saying anything complex. So if it's real simple, then give them a real simple answer, okay? Let me have y'all follow over this application, baby. Let me have y'all look at the application, because y'all not gonna believe me. It's gonna be 2 questions. Y'all ready? That's the application. Okay. You know me and my lives. The application is going to ask for your name, your email address, your business name, your website or Facebook page. Here's question number 1. Tell us about your business or your business ideas. You don't even have to have a business, right? What motivates you? What's the story behind your business? What are the opportunities and challenges? That's question number 1. Question number 2. Tell us what you would do with the money if awarded a grant. Please be specific about your plans if you won the $10,000 and the $25,000 year-end grant. Note, you may want to copy your answers to another document for safekeeping. Baby, those are the 2 questions for this $10,000 and $25,000 grant. Okay? So, when it comes to business grants, I'm not talking about nonprofit grants. I'm talking about business grants. They are looking for authenticity and simple. Why do you need this money? What challenges are you facing? What are you going to do with the money? So to kind of help give you a guideline or kind of, refresh your creative juices, look at who the previous winners are. A lot of times they'll have a video with the person talking, or they may just have a synopsis of, who they are, what they did with the grant money, blah, blah, blah. Some are going to say they expanded their business. Some are going to say they hired employees, they got equipment, whatever it is. But those kind of things may also trigger some things that you may need in your business, right? Like, do you need equipment? Do you have old equipment and you can use some newer equipment? Do you need equipment that maybe can help you get the job done faster? Is your business kind of growing and you're wearing too many hats and you really can't really get in the business because you're kind of tied down doing remedial things? So maybe it's time to bring in like some kind of office staff to kind of take over some of the small work so you can kind of be in the business. Is it time for us to have a brick and mortar, a storefront, an office space? Are we already in an office space, but it's too small? We need a bigger office space. Do we need some kind of marketing? Do we need to maybe update our website? Do we maybe need a patent for our formula? What do you need in your business that's going to make you money? Okay. By looking at what previous grant winners are asking for, what they're doing with the money, that may trigger some things. You know what? I may need that also. Okay. I may need that too. I'm going to be talking about this in my grant course tomorrow, but another little tip is to answer your questions out like either in a Google Doc or just keep like a grant notebook, right? So for this grant, they're asking us to tell us about your business or your business idea. What motivates you? What's the story behind your business? And what are the opportunities and challenges, right? So, like I said, grants are going to ask you the same question, just differently. So if I'm answering this question, I'm not going to just answer the question on the actual grant application. I'm going to either write out my answer on paper and pen, or I'm going to, write out my answer either like on a Microsoft Word document or a Google Doc. Well, why? You want to save your answer because I always tell people apply to 5 to 10 grants every single month. You don't want to have to come up with the same answers over and over and over and over and over and over again, right? So if we're going to answer what motivates you, what's the story behind your business, and what are the opportunities and challenges, if I am Joyce Peach Cobbler, growing up, I always saw my grandmother, cooking her famous peach cobbler. She would always make family gatherings so much fun, by bringing the family together over great food. I was able to, learn the recipe, and I want to honor my grandmother by keeping on the legacy of making peach cobbler. That will kind of be the story behind my business. What motivates me is, being able to provide for my family, by having my own business. One day I would like my child or my kid or whoever to be able, to hold on to the family business and pass it on generation to generation. What are the opportunities and challenges? My business is growing. I feel like it's time for me to get some, maybe rent some commercial kitchen space, get some more commercial kitchen. I don't even know how to make a peach cobbler. So whatever you need to cook, right? Maybe, I don't know. Are you blending anything in a peach cobbler? I don't cook. So maybe I'm blending something for the crust and I'm having to use a regular blender. Maybe I need a commercial size blender, right? So, some of the challenges are, I don't really have commercial equipment. So it's taking me longer to make the peach cobblers. I would be able to make more peach cobblers, in a faster time if I had commercial grade equipment. I am currently having to turn down, larger orders for office parties, larger events, because I don't have the proper equipment to be able to produce to produce a large quantity of my product. By saving that answer, 2 grants from now, they're going to ask me that same question, right? Instead of having to come up with that same answer, if you keep all of your answers on a Google Doc, on a grant notebook, 3-ring binder, however you want to do it, all you have to do is go back to, what challenges do my business face? Bam, boom, 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 boom. Now on my next grant, I'm just copying and pasting the answer. it's going to make the first time you apply for the first couple of grants, you're going to have to take some time to kind of map out your answers. But as you're applying for multiple grants and you start seeing the same question, you can just go back to your Google Doc, go back to your Microsoft Word document, go back to your pen and paper notebook and say, how did I answer that question 3 grants ago? And then we're really just copying and pasting, right? The only thing we may be changing is if we apply for a $10,000 grant, but now we're applying for a $30,000 grant, we need to kind of add some more things on our budget that will be around $30,000, and then vice versa. If you're applying for a $30,000 grant and this one's 10, well, now we got to take some things off the budget so that our budget for this one is just $10,000. If you are taking my class this weekend, I'm going to have a Google Doc format for you to be able to use to make things real simple. Okay, so. We all saw Ashley. If you are just logging on, watch the replay of this. Baby Ashley has a farm. Ashley is giving us farmer, what's the guy's name? Ronald McDonald. She's giving us Ronald McDonald, the farmer. Very simple, very, very authentic, just a regular farm girl winning a grant, okay? You don't have to have a PhD in writing, in language. You don't know how to write. Your grammar's off. Perfect. All you have to do is sell your vision. However you got to sell it, they're not looking at the grammar. They're not looking at, that's not what they're critiquing you on. They just need you to answer the questions. Okay. So before you apply for the grant, look at, who the past winners were, and then look at why they are starting the grant. Okay, so this one is real simple. Just talking about they want to help people. They want to help women-owned businesses basically just start a business. Nothing is real specific in this grant. So other grants may be, we want to help tech companies or startup companies, or they may be more specific, right? So if this was a grant for a startup company, then when you're writing your grant, you want to use like the same adjectives. Having a startup, some of the challenges I face are blah, 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 blah. If it's a woman-owned grant means 51% is owned by a woman. So if we maybe have a husband and wife team, and we're 50-50 partners, we may want the wife to go on ahead and be a 51% partner so we can now apply for women-owned grants. Okay, so if we're applying for a women-owned grant, we're going to throw in the fact that we're women-owned. Being a woman-owned being a woman-owned business, some of the challenges I face are blah, 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 blah. So whoever the grant is trying to help, we want to use those same words in our response somehow. Okay, so look for those adjectives. So let me say it again. In recognition of diversity of businesses owned by women. So the words they use is diversity of businesses owned by women, right? So I want to talk about something about women-owned businesses, and then when it comes to when that question came about challenges, one of the challenges in being a woman-owned business is boom, 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 boom. So I want to show you, hey, you want to help a woman-owned business? Well, I'm a woman-owned business. You want to help, disenfranchised business owners? I'm a disenfranchised business owner. You want to help startup businesses? I'm a startup business. So whatever are the actual words that they're using, you want to use that same terminology when you are responding to your answers, as long as it applies for you, right? So those would be my little grant tips. And then if you have my grant bundle, just click on the grants and just start looking at the applications. I have done 4 grant calls this week, and the person who's on the call is the owner of the business who bought the grant bundle, but they have passed the grant bundle off to a grant writer, a personal assistant, someone else. So when I start asking them, okay, so like what grant application have you looked at? Oh, well, I haven't looked at any yet. I have someone doing that for me. And so when I say, well, hey, let's just click on a link now and look at the application. Then once they start looking at the application, it's like a light bulb goes off in their face. Oh my gosh, This is all it is? Yes, baby, this is all it is. So a lot of times we are making this whole process harder than what it really is. In my masterclass this weekend, I'm going to go over like the 6 things that you need to cover that's going to attack the entire grant process like that. Okay. So if we cover these 6 things, you'll be good to go. I'm going to give you, the top 30 questions. I'm going to give you some trigger words to use to kind of spruce up your writing. You're going to have a budget calculator to kind of break down your budget. I'm going to give you a lot of tools to make things go faster. But all you got to do is really map out what you're going to ask for. I'm going to tell you what not to ask for. Don't ask for anything that's not going to make you any money. Okay? We're not paying off debt. We're not catching up on bills. We're not catching up on rent. We're not, needing operating expenses. After COVID, I just can't get my business going. I just need to keep the doors open. We aren't giving any sob stories. We're not talking about our business like we're about to go under and bankrupt because nobody wants to give money to a sinking ship. I'm going to give you the mindset and the framework as to how to pitch your business for it to stand out and be marketable. Okay. So this is the Amber Grant. The Amber Grant is going to be given every single month if it's a woman-owned business. Another simple one will be the Awesome Foundation Grant. So for everyone who can't afford my grant bundle, you can Google the Awesome Foundation Grant. They give a grant every single month. Their application, I think, is also 2 questions like this Amber Grant was. It's real simple, okay? So this weekend, we need to at least be Googling business grants. If you have my grant bundle, just click on the grant application. Just look over 3 grants. Just this weekend, you ain't got to apply. Just look at 3 business grant applications, okay? Because once you actually see the questions and that we're just typing in the answer, we're not having to submit a 30-page grant proposal, like all these excuses that you put in your mind as to why you can't do it. I feel like once you just see a couple of grant applications, it kind of takes some of that anxiety off. Like, okay, I could do this. I can get this. Okay. So let's just, I'm not even saying apply for grants. I mean, we gonna baby step this. Okay. So this weekend, everyone who's on this live, I just need you to look at 3 business grant applications, go through them, look at the questions, and just make a mental note, like how many questions were similar, right? So if grant application had 3 questions, grant application number 1 had 3 questions, right? Now we're going to go to grant application 2. They may have had 5 questions, but 3 of the 5 were the same question that the first grant application asked. And then when you go to grant application 3, they may have only had 2 questions, but the 2 questions were already in the previous grant application that you saw. So really, you're only having to answer 5 different questions, but that would answer 3 different grant applications. The more grant applications you apply for, the more you increase your chances of one being awarded a grant. The more grant applications you apply for, the more confidence you're going to have in applying for the grant. Now, if we're applying to 10 grants a month, what if you start to win 1 grant every 2 months? So if you win 1 grant let me make it worse. What if you just win 1 grant every 6 months? Okay, so you won $20,000 just by taking an hour out on a weekend and applying for 10 grants. You applied to 10 grants for the whole year. So you applied to 120 grants and you only won 2, okay? I suck at math, so I don't know if that's 1%, 2%, whatever the percentage is. You applied for 120 grants and you won 2. What would $20,000 do for your business if you got 20 grand in 1 year that didn't require bank statements, that didn't require a tax return, that didn't require a certain credit score? And the most important factor is we don't have to pay it back. It's not going to be another no. It's not going to be another debt. It's not going to be another expense that you have to, pay every single month. Unlike getting a line of credit, unlike maxing out your credit cards, unlike getting a loan. For those who have multiple businesses, you know, for a grant, if you have multiple LLCs, you can apply for the same grant for, you know, for all your businesses. So let's say I have Joy's Barbecue and Joy's Peach Cobbler, right? Well, I can apply for the same grant, just changing the name for my business, just changing what my business does, just changing why I need the money. But now, so now I'm applying for 240 grants, right? Because I'm applying for each grant for each business. Hence why I always say, don't run one LLC with multiple DBAs, because each LLC is a person. That's an extra person to apply for a grant. That's an extra person to apply for a loan. That's an extra person to apply for vehicle financing, right? So now I apply for 240 grants, right? I got 2 of them for each of my business. So now I have $40,000 a year to, you know, spread around, you know, building up these 2 businesses that I don't have to have tax returns for. I don't have to have a certain revenue requirement. They didn't pull my credit, and I don't have to pay the money back. Apply for a business grant. It's going to be the easiest way to get money once you understand how to apply for them. And we all saw Ashley, baby. Okay, Ashley is giving us, if Ashley can win the grant with these 2 pintails, baby, everyone on this live can win the grant. Okay, so I'm showing Ashley to show y'all, baby, you don't have to have no degrees on your wall. Ashley didn't have on a lick of makeup. Okay, Ashley gave you, when you saw Ashley, she knows about farms. She gonna know about cheese. She gonna know about cows. Ashley gave me farmer all day long. And that was what her business was. Okay, so if you're in construction, you don't put a suit on. If you're in construction, or if you're a mechanic, or if you're doing something that's blue collar work, look like a blue collar person. Just look like you. That's why I always say it's best if you apply for the grant, because you know how you need to show up. So this is going to be called the Amber Grant. If y'all want to go on this website and look at all the other recipients, they have a winner every single month. They're going to have a lot of recipients where you can look at them, listen to the videos, see what they asked for, where they see their vision going in a year, why they started their business. These people are going to answer all these questions for you. And you can see they are in just t-shirts, or they're either in their company shirt with their logo. It is just regular people who applied for a grant for their business, knew why they needed the money, how it would help their business, and they have a vision for where they see their business going in the next year and 5 years, and they're able to win business funding that's not going to cost them any kind of extra stress or take away from their cash flow every single month. Okay, so your assignment, if you're on this live getting my free tips, is you need to look at 3 business grant applications. I'm not saying apply. I'm not going to stress you out this weekend. All I am saying is look at 3 different business grant applications. Make a mental note as to what the questions are asking. I'd even say write down the question. I'm giving y'all real simple homework. Look at 3 business grant applications. Make a mental note of how many questions were on the application, and then how many questions were similar. Okay, if you are signed up for my grant masterclass this weekend, I'm going to give you all these tools and checklists, and I'm going to give you everything you need without being nervous. I'm going to give you a blueprint as to how to go into the grant. If you cannot make my masterclass this weekend, it will be recorded, so you can also buy the replay, get all of the blueprints, checklists, everything that y'all need to be able to attack grant writing without stressing yourself out. Okay, so it is Friday evening. I will let you guys go, and of course I will see you at the bank.